Hi, it's Taylor with Mom on the Spectrum, and in today's video, we're talking about autistic strengths. Some of you have mentioned that videos I've made on this topic previously, which were like 4 or 5 years ago at this point, are some of your favorite videos. I've changed a lot since then. This community has changed a lot since then. And I think a lot of us are feeling a little bit overwhelmed and deflated and upset and frustrated about kind of the state of the world right now and how autistic people are being framed in conversations. So let's take an opportunity to talk about how many strengths we really do have. Let's celebrate our differences and just have a good time connecting with each other. Okay, let's focus on the beautiful community that we have here and take a second to just like pause all those outside voices. They're not worth listening to. Okay, we know who we are. By the way, if you like my shirt, kind of proud of it. I designed it. I'll put a link in the description if you want to get your own. It's pretty fun to wear, if I do say so myself. Okay, so autistic strengths. Let's start with perception and awareness. We notice micro details that others miss. We sense patterns even in chaotic situations. We have high sensory awareness. A lot of autistic people in my community have mentioned that it feels like an antenna. Like if being autistic feels like being an antenna, like you can walk in a room and just sense a lot of different things. You get a lot of feedback whether or not you want it. So we pick up on a lot of details that other people miss. We also have the ability to detect inconsistencies and hypocrisy pretty instantly. We have a pretty great BS radar, which I think some people don't like, but it's pretty dialed in and focused. We have very strong intuition once we learn how to trust it. A lot of us have kind of lost touch with our intuition because people like to tell us that we're overthinking, we're oversensitive, we're too much. But once we relearn how to tap into that intuition, it makes a huge difference because we're very intuitive. Okay, our next section is about thinking and problem solving strengths. We tend to be deep, nonlinear thinkers. We can connect distant dots. If you want to look up a map of the autistic brain, there's some really cool studies that show how many connections we're able to make, especially when compared to an allistic or non-autistic person. While I say that, let me mention these are generalized strengths and autistic traits. They're not going to apply to everybody. But if you do find the list helpful, if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel, that helps me out so much, and I really, really appreciate it. Next on the list of thinking and problem solving strengths is innovative problem solving. So we can see what doesn't exist yet. A lot of times we'll be the out of the box thinkers who can kind of predict or foreshadow what's going to be needed even before anyone else is talking about it. We can also have a very long attention span for special interests. We can go into like a hyper-focused state of research or creativity where we really are able to develop things in a way that many other people are not. Oftentimes we have excellent memory for facts or systems or emotional details. So a lot of times people will tell me, that I remember things other people don't. From either an experience that they've shared with me, or sometimes I shared something with someone recently about a previous conversation and they're like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot that I said that and that we talked about that. And I think it's meaningful. I think that I'm able to see those things emotionally that other people can't. And I've heard from many in the community that I'm not the only one who's able to do that. We also have analytical precision. Analytical precision. We don't just skim things, we can study them in depth and with a lot of attention. The next section is communication and honesty. And I think some of you already know where I'm headed with this one. We tend to be radically honest and loyal. We usually don't like to play games, no pretense, what you see is what you get. Direct communication, clear, efficient, genuine. I love it when people are clear in their communication. I was laughing at one of my friends last week. He was just being so straightforward about how he felt about someone. And I was like, dang. But I was also like, I never have to guess where he stands on anything because he just tells it like it is. And I love that. Depth over small talk. So we typically bring conversations to the table that really matter, that really move things forward, rather than how's the weather? What are you doing this weekend? That kind of thing. Not that those conversations are pointless, but We like to bring depth to situations. We also have a very strong sense of justice and fairness, which can, in the current state of the world, feel debilitating. I'm just going to be honest. Like, we are so drawn to justice. And when we sense or notice inequality, it's very, very hard to focus on anything else. And we will fight. Like, I notice a lot of times we're able to put many of our challenges on the back burner when injustice or inequality is at play. We can push past a lot of our challenges to fight for things that really matter. Okay, this is a really big one for me. Disinterest and gossip. Like, when people gossip, that is a turn off for me. It feels icky. I don't like it. And I don't usually engage in gossip about other people because I don't like that either. So I feel like that's a really beneficial trait. I wish that more people strayed away from gossip. And I'm going to be honest because I'm straightforward. I feel like people, when they gossip, it's because they don't have anything else interesting to say. Oh, that sounds really harsh, but that's just me speaking off the cuff. Okay. So if you notice yourself if you notice yourself gossiping a lot, maybe just take a step back and reconnect with yourself. Do something creative, generate some of your own ideas. I'm saying this with a lot of love. Like, it's okay if you notice that this is something that you do. There's ways to push into deeper territory where you can like find your own voice and more meaningful things to contribute to the conversation. Again, it's maybe I'm coming across harsh, but I mean it in love. The next section is empathy and integrity. We usually have a deep moral compass. We feel the weight of right versus wrong. We tend to be fiercely protective of people and causes that we love. Our empathy is expressed through doing and not just saying, which I feel like is revolutionary and transformative. And this is actually a really good thing to keep in mind in relationships. It's not just about what people say. People can say anything they want to say, and it can sound beautiful and poetic and lovely, but unless their actions back those words up, you don't have to believe them. And that's been really important for me in learning how to find safety and stability and trust in relationships is looking at people's actions. So oftentimes, autistic people, we follow through with what we say. And I know that I feel kind of this hold up. It's almost like I can't say something unless I really mean it. Like, I almost never make a promise because I'm like, what if something happens to me and I'm unable to fulfill that promise? Like, I'm not going to say something that I don't mean, or if I can't follow through on it, it's like something comes up in my throat and is like, no, don't say that, because what if you can't follow through on that? It's a very big point of, I don't want to say pride. It's just like a way that I'm wired. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if anybody else knows what I'm saying there. We also have the ability to hold multiple perspectives once we understand them, which is another hugely beneficial trait. Okay, if we could all learn how to hold multiple perspectives without feeling threatened by them, the world will be a completely different place. It is okay for other people to have different beliefs and ideas. We can learn how to sit with those differences, not try to change each other. And I have noticed, so I run connection groups with the autistic community here at Mom on the Spectrum. I've never seen so many empathetic, compassionate people in one place who really are able to hold different people's perspectives. It doesn't matter if they don't live their life by that code, they're able to listen and ask meaningful questions and show up for that person. It's really such a beautiful thing. If you want to learn more about those connection groups, you can go to momonthespectrum.life/community. And then the last thing here in this category is having consistent values. We don't shift to please often, right? If we are convicted about something or something's important to us, we're not going to pretend like it's not. Again, these are generalizations. There's layers here. This is multifaceted, but in general, if something is meaningful or important to us, we're not going to be the yes man that just gives you what you want. The next category here is creativity and passion. We tend to be able to think outside the box or unconventionally. So we might be the person in the company or the business or the group that's going to bring an idea where it's like, I'm not sure if that's going to work. And in your head, you're like, I think this is going to work. But it might take some convincing because other people might not be able to see or think in that same capacity. Unique humor, often dark, sharp, or surreal. Let me know in the comments if there's any other dark humor people. Humor is so important to me. It's my favorite way, I think, to heal and to disconnect from the weight of the world. I love stand-up comedy. I love really so many different forms of comedy, but autistic people's humor is some of my favorite humor. It's dry, it's witty. A lot of people in the room won't get the humor, and I think that's even better. Like, I love that. The next thing on the list here is artistic expression as a language for emotions. So, oh my gosh, again, talking about my online community, you should see the pieces of art and poetry and creations that are shared within my community. I am blown away. I'm like, how do I get to be connected to such incredible people? The amount of art that comes from autistic people is just mind-blowingly amazing. Again, hyperfocus that can lead to mastery or innovation. No one knows hyperfocus like an autistic person or an ADHD person or an ADHD person knows hyperfocus. And oftentimes you can get the same work done in one hyperfocus session than another person could in like a week of normal work hours. It's pretty wild. It's like we slip into a different dimension and time doesn't exist and we just learn and grow and then come out on the other side with like something that nobody's done before. It's pretty cool. We also have the capacity to turn deep pain into beauty or purpose. And I see this so much in my community. I'm feeling so grateful for them today. I think because so many of us have experienced trauma and gaslighting and painful relationships, we've had to live and endure so much emotional pain that we've learned how to alchemize that into something more beautiful. And that's really, I mean, how cool is that? That's such an important trait to be able to share with the world. 2 more sections here. This one is work ethic and specialization. So commitment to accuracy and quality, whether you like it or not. Intense reliability. If we say we're going to do it, we'll follow through and do it. We often thrive in solitude, so we can be deeply productive without social noise. We can also build systems, routines, and efficiency hacks naturally. If you're looking for a trustworthy system or mode of operation or routine, we can help you develop one. And a desire for improvement. There tends to be kind of a constant internal refinement that I've noticed within autistic people. Generally speaking, there tends to be a pretty admirable level of self-awareness and reflection that I've seen within our community. And then the last section here is emotional and existential strengths. A willingness to sit with truth, even if it's uncomfortable. Profound self-awareness. Depth of reflection that most people never touch. It is hard. We've talked about this. It's hard for us to find people who can go as deep conversationally and emotionally as we are willing to go. I love it. Spiritual or philosophical curiosity about meaning and existence. Yes. And the last one on the list is authenticity. I mean, if I could sum autistic people up, like our greatest strength is authenticity and also being able to identify authenticity in others. Again, that radar that we have is so finely tuned, and I think it's such a beautiful thing. We strive to be authentic and to give the world the best that we have, even despite so many setbacks and challenges and so many conversations about us that we haven't gotten to be a part of. We are still here. We're still finding ways to add to the community, to add kindness and compassion to the world around us, to add empathy. It's just such a beautiful community. Thank you so much for watching this video and for helping me celebrate the beautiful people in the autistic community. If you could like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. And then again, if you want to be autistic AF like me, all it takes is just wearing a t-shirt now. But if you like the t-shirt and it would make you happy to have one, I'll put the link in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.